Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So here's my video breaking down the episode 2 scene that we actually got here from The Walking Dead. I'll leave a link down below if you do want to check it out. It was actually posted by The Walking Dead, and yeah, very cool scene here, and it kind of reveals, I guess, something about the episode that I figured. I mean, we all knew it was happening anyways, but yeah, just a very interesting scene, and I want to talk about a few Easter eggs in here. Actually, there's one thing that I noticed that I feel like maybe was intentional, but yeah, just kind of hilarious. But yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. I will have my episode 2 breakdown video coming out tomorrow, as well as I guess a couple of other videos like my episode 3 trailer breakdown and some videos on episode 3 just in general. So definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all of my Walking Dead content. So this scene begins here with Maggie, and it looks like she went somewhere, and yeah, I guess she's creating a signal here, she says at the very end of the scene. I'm not sure what the signal is for. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I don't think, like there's two ways you can sort of think about this, right? Like, there's a signal, you know, maybe to the other members of New Babylon saying that she's here, like she's ready to, I guess, go to New York City or whatever, and so maybe everyone else knows that now, right? And so they're able to actually, like, go across the river or whatever. Like, it's either that, or maybe she's doing this because she's trying to warn Negan about the fact that New Babylon is actually going to be there very soon, and so she's trying to give him a little bit of a warning. I don't think so, because obviously the smoke here would, like, literally tell everyone that, oh, what are you doing? Like, you're giving away where we are, and they're gonna know that we're going there, right? So I don't think that that's what's happening here. I feel like Maggie, maybe she was told to do this, I'm not sure, but obviously at the end of the scene, she does say that, yeah, it is a signal here. So I'm really curious as to what that means with the overall story here. Now, I don't think it's the exact RV, but there's an actual RV in the scene, which is hilarious. Like, right away you think, oh, this is Dale's RV, right? Or obviously it's not the same exact RV, but it's like an Easter egg to that, right? Like, anytime there's an RV, just in general, like on The Walking Dead, in any of the shows, it takes you back to Dale's RV, because that was, like, you know, obviously, like, that was the main vehicle they drove to get anywhere. I mean, there were so many problems with that vehicle, right? So, like, it was just something that was, like, honestly kind of a part of the story. Like, oh, characters would be stuck here because they had to fix the RV, and, like, it was just a thing, right, for like 2 seasons. And so yeah, I mean, kind of a cool Easter egg here if it is actually the same exact like RV. Also, there is the whole thing with Jadis as well, right? Like the RV that they were in. I mean, Negan, he was in an RV as well, you know, when he came out to kill Glenn and Abraham. There's a lot of little things like that. You know, they were all traveling, I believe, in an RV anyways when they were going to, well, they were trying to get to the hilltop because of Maggie, right? And I do wonder, maybe it's the exact RV as that. That'd be kind of cool. But I also just want to say the visuals look really incredible. Like, that is the one thing about this show that they don't necessarily really need to do anymore. Like, the visuals, I feel like, yeah, you could spend some of the budget on that, but I don't think The Walking Dead necessarily needs it, right? Like, The Walking Dead season 11 and season 10, but towards the end of season 10. Well, really, honestly, it was with the start of season 11. I think season 10 had a little bit of that, where they were shooting more digitally, so obviously the whole, like, grainy look that everyone really likes, like, that went away, right? And I'm okay with that, honestly. I think that you have to be, you know, a little bit more competitive with the other shows out there right now. And I think that if they switched away, or if they never switched away from it, people would complain about it, like, oh, the show doesn't look that great, right? So it's because they switched away that now when you look back at the old, you know, look of the show, you're just like, oh, it's nostalgic, right? Like, you're like, oh, I missed that. The Walking Dead looked the best back then, but I think it looks the best now. I think that, you know, it's just more nostalgic looking back, and I appreciate all that now, right? So the visuals are just really incredible, and I think that that's one of the aspects to the show that I really do like. I mean, that's really with all the spinoffs, like, they do just, like, look incredible because the locations, like, even though the locations might not look real, like, they do look real because of how much their, I guess, budget is spent on, like, the visuals and all of that, right? And they are actually really in these locations. It's more just like, you know, if you want things to look good sort of thing, and you have to make it look a certain way, like obviously, like, it's the apocalypse or something like that, right? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of comment on that because I think that the visuals look incredible. But Maggie is just here, and Hershel shows up out of nowhere, and so it's revealed that yeah, Hershel is here. And so I do want to say, though, actually, if you look at the RV, the tires of the RV are popped here. So I don't think Maggie was driving this at all. She probably just walked here, I'm assuming, or she had a different vehicle, because, yeah, that makes sense. She probably had another vehicle because obviously the tires are popped here. And I really want to know if this is the same exact RV, because it really looks like it. Like, it just, I don't remember the blue, though. That's the only thing, but yeah, anyways, Hershel shows up here and Maggie's kind of shocked by that. Like, wait, what? Why are you here? And then he explains that, he was worried about what could happen to Maggie because of, I guess maybe what he knows about the Dama and stuff happening there. And Maggie is just like, you know what? Like right now, I'll keep you safe. But first thing in the morning, you're going back, right? And so, obviously that's not going to happen. Like Hershel's going to find a way to go with Maggie to New York City. And it really is just honestly insane that Hershel is this grown up now. Like that's why I really like the time jumps. I know that some, originally anyways, didn't like the time jumps, and maybe like that has changed now. But I just think overall, when you're looking at the time periods of The Walking Dead, that it makes sense to focus more on something like this right now, right? Like, if you're thinking about it, you don't want to be set around the time of when The Walking Dead ended because of the ages of like Hershel, Judith, and RJ, right? Like, they were just at that age where it's like, if you have to go tell a story there a couple of years later, those actors are going to be a lot older. And so you have to make it where those characters are going to be more like young adults, and so that you can actually have the actors play the role for a very long time, right? And so Hershel's at the age now where it's like the actor can play the role for quite a while because he's just going to be aging, on the show. And so it works really well. That's one of the things with like Judith and RJ. I think the next show or the next series or whatever it's going to be with Rick and Michonne, it's going to be a couple of years into the future, because I think we're going to see Judith and RJ grown up. Like, we're going to see them much older because the actors are getting much older, and you don't want to recast, right? Like, I think that's the one thing that I really like about The Walking Dead is that in terms of like recasting characters and stuff, they don't necessarily do that too much. Obviously, the actor who plays Hershel, he's been recast quite a bit because, I mean, they've jumped forward in time a lot, with the characters, so that like that makes a lot of sense. But like Carl is really the perfect example when it comes to a lot of this, because Carl was, I mean, I don't know how old he was in the very first season. I think he was like 8, 9, or 10. And then by season 8, according to the show, he was 12, or actually I think he was 12 in the first season, then 14 later. Like, it was basically 2 years went by between season 1 and 8. And that's a big issue, because we're all like, well, no, obviously that's not what happened. Like, Chandler Riggs obviously aged like 8 or 9 years, right? 10 years or something like that, because the actor got a lot older, right? And so we're supposed to believe that only 2 years went by between season 1 and season 8, but in reality, it was like 8 years or whatever, or more. So I think that's why, to me, these time jumps make a lot of sense. And so it's just kind of crazy to see Hershel, grown up now, and like, he's going to be out there surviving on his own and learning a lot of, things about how to survive and all of that out there. And it's just crazy to see, because you look back to season 2 and you just think of like Glenn and Maggie, right? And like what they were like back then. And so I don't think Hershel's at the same age that Maggie was at then, but like in a couple of years from now, he will be. And it's going to be honestly insane to see. And kind of sad, because it just means that it's been that long since Glenn died. Like, Hershel is what, like 15, 16 years old right now? It's been 15 or 16 years since Glenn died, and I can't even believe that. Like, it's sad, right? Like, I don't know why Glenn's death is still something that is like, it's still super sad to think about, and the more time that passes, it is just like, I can't even believe that character is gone. But I mean, that really just says a lot about the character, I think, right? Like, a really incredible character overall. And that's why I love The Walking Dead as well, and it's what Norman Reedus said, like, you're watching your character age on screen, and it's something that is very special, and you only get that with long-term storytelling. Like, if you don't tell a story over 15, 20 years, like, you're not going to see your character age over time. Like, yes, you could do time jumps in a movie and like make your character look older with like effects or just like practical effects and all of that, right? But like, it's not the same thing at all. It really is not the same thing, because we're not having that same experience of watching these characters for that long, right? So it is very different, because we're almost relating with the characters because we've gotten a lot older, right? So it's one of the things that is very, very honestly incredible, just so amazing about The Walking Dead. And it's funny because like Daryl actually mentions in the season 3 teaser trailer that came out the other day, like, this has been happening for so long, or I was young when this all started. He says something like that. And I kind of laughed, because I was like, I know the character is a lot older. I know it's been about like close to 15 years into the apocalypse, but like, he wasn't like really young when the apocalypse started, right? Like maybe Daryl is 50 now, and so when it started, he was in his 30s. And so, I mean, I guess that it makes sense. Like, it has been a while, but I don't know. To me, honestly, Daryl just seems the same to me. Like, it doesn't really seem like he's aged at all. But yeah, that line just kind of made me laugh a little bit. But yeah, just a really incredible scene here. And I'm really excited to see season 2. I really cannot wait to see this just you know, this time of The Walking Dead, because it's so cool to see everyone so much older and like they're almost learning about, you know, the way things were back in the day. And it's like we're in the right era now of The Walking Dead. Whereas I think a couple of years ago, it was like, you know, Hershel just wasn't at the age where he could learn about his father, learn about what Negan did, you know, what Maggie went through. And now he's at that age where he can actually learn all of this stuff and, you know, really process everything all on his own. So I'm really excited to see what Dead City Season 2 is going to bring here, what the future is going to bring for The Walking Dead. And yeah, just a really incredible scene here. And I really can't wait to watch episode 2, which is premiering tomorrow. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And yeah, I'm excited for episode 2. I'm really enjoying the show quite a bit here. And I know I do have to catch up on The Last of Us. Honestly, I just have to, I think what it is I have to watch the show and just like, you know, give it a chance. I think that the thing is, like, after Joel's death, it did make it not as exciting, I would say. Like, I really watched that story because of Joel, right? And so I'm not saying that, you know, the show's going to be bad now. I think that the show honestly is doing, you know, the story of the video game a lot better than the actual video game. And so that's really awesome. And I think Abby is actually a really great character here on the show. It's just that, you know, obviously I really like Joel as a character. So it's one of those things where I don't feel the same exact way about all the other characters. And so it's kind of hard to watch a show where you don't find all the other characters as interesting. If anything, actually, I think Abby is the most interesting character, but it's the same thing with The Walking Dead. Like, when Rick Grimes left, I could have been like, well, I can't watch anymore. But the thing is, I liked all the other characters. I think because when Rick left, I mean, obviously he was going to show up in the future, so we had all of that, and Daryl and everyone else were all incredible characters, and I loved, you know, that story so much, so that's why I was like, well, I could watch for all of that, right? Like, I love all the other characters, and I think that's the one thing that The Last of Us doesn't necessarily have, is a lot of very, very likable characters. There's characters that are really great, but it's not the same as The Walking Dead, where you had a lot of characters that could actually lead the show. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below, and yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.